Welcome back, movers, shakers, believers, achievers, and motivators. Welcome back to Embracing Newness. I am your host, Love, your big little sister. And today we are going to be getting into women of a certain age who has decided to um, move into a camper and start their journey, um, whether it's being starting their journey or starting their journey anew. And the best part about this program is the the thought of not getting stuck, whether that is in life or in a uh, certain uh, venue of the show. So sometimes these things happen where I pick something and it won't play, but that's okay because we are going to move on, and that's what it's about. Keep on moving. Keep on moving and don't stop because life is too short to get stuck. Basically, all right. Okay. So we're just gonna wait, and I was gonna have something playing in the background as I prepare for our segment, but I'll just wait and simply do the segment. How about that? This is the thing about going live. You will find that sometimes this thing don't act right. I was watching it on my phone, and I had decided to um, start it where I wanted to start it at off my phone. But happy Tuesday, guys. And today I wanted to say yesterday I had an emotional moment, and we are allowed those every now and again. I won't make an excuse for it. It's my right as a human being to have emotions and not have to apologize for them. But in the professional capacity of things, I hope it never happens again. And I will be certain to try to make sure it doesn't happen again. I wanted to erase the whole episode, but I have erased about 10 of these episodes because I'm like, no, Lord, I don't want to be seen in that light. That's not the light I want to. But the thing with this is the people that I am bringing on the show, they can't just erase moments. And the whole point is the journey. Oh, the journey. Sometimes there'll be time, some days there'll be uh, full of laughter, and some days it won't be as funny, and some days it'll be a little melancholy. And that's the rolls and punches of life, right? And so we just gotta, as the Lord told me last night, as I was on my upset mode because I did get out yesterday. I got some sunshine. I got some walking in, and I just enjoyed some time alone, reflecting and everything. So I felt a lot better after doing all that. But then I had got frustrated again because something else happened, and I was just not fully recovered from the aggravation yesterday morning. So a lot of times, just like with brothers, it's good to start your day off on a good bit. Get out the bed on the right side of the bed or crawl back in and get back out again. Because life be lifing and everything's not perfect. And, you know, it's okay because it's not supposed to be perfect. But this is what the Lord told me: be water. And I didn't have to ask him to explain. Be water. Flow. Know that everything is working for my greater good and that the Lord is in charge and I have my faith in the right person. I have my faith in the right place. And with that, I just keep rolling and flowing, rolling and flowing. Not knowing what will come next, but assuredly, whatever comes next is for the people around me, for me, but I do trust in the one I serve. In the pilot, I do have my trust in the pilot. He has a lot more experience than us. And today I have gotten off of the vacation, the moving abroad for today, because I was really inspired by this one lady who started. I'm going to say her name because that was her big draw with her age when she made the video. So she's starting over at 60. She had a townhouse and she had children, and she just had this perfect life, as she would say, and many would say, and all her friends and family was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And so I'll let her give her own reasons. But as you guys know, when we are on our way down a path, we don't get caught up on what makes us upset or what frustrates us. We try to remember the good, even if that's the only way you have to push forward, is to remember the good. And s- as you'll see with all of my stories, everything that I bring on, there will be times where things get a little messy, a little confusing. And since these people are their own, I mean, they may watch videos of other people doing it, whatever, but since these people are their own, making their own way, and they have different situations to come up that fit them exactly, you can't watch a video and be like, okay, now I got it down pat. So when this happens, do this. When this happens, do that. Because everything is tailor made for our situations. You can only get sort of a roundabout kind of feeling. But just like this older lady in one of these videos that I had saw has said, don't overthink it. Just turn the key and drive. So that's what we're going to do. Here we are. And the first guest is the mermaid. Wait, what's her name? The Silver Mermaid. adventures. Come on, Silver Mermaid. Come on, sis. Sus. I put it on right where I want her to start. So let's get into it.
Always easy, always delicious.
At.
Two pantries, okay? There's a basket, and the other one, there's a door that has a basket behind it, and I keep all my staples in there. And it works for me, you know? It's not a
Hey.
lot. I mean,
This is not the one. This is not it. This is the same lady, but that's not what I'm looking for. That's it right here. Here we go.
I'm traveling. Life as a solo female. I had looked into nomad life, living out, boondocking, and being in the middle of nature. Everyone who knows me knows I love nature, and I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie who kind of likes living life on the edge. I'm 60 years old, and you think I would grow up and be beyond that, but I don't. And I won't. That's me. I traveled across the country in 2023. I had a Jeep Wrangler, and I traveled across the country to see and just enjoyed my time at her home with her. I had to mentally prepare myself. I was getting ready to travel across the country. I'd never done that before by myself, and I've always wanted to do it. And I just needed that time of rest with her at her home. Little did I know that in May 2023, that would be the last time I would spend time with her in her presence, where she's fully aware that I'm there. And so I'm so thankful I took that 10 days and spent it with her. And I'm so glad I did that. I went across the country, slept in the back of my Jeep Wrangler, and I really, really love this. I was in some really remote areas, boondocking, camping in parks that are very remote off season, and had some storms. I saw lots of wildlife and never felt scared. I loved it. I absolutely loved the thrill of it. Now, mind you, okay, I had a really good mattress. It was a Jeep mattress. It fit the back of my Jeep, but you had to put the front seats, all the way up, put the middle seat down. And so I had to do this every time I went to stay somewhere. And then I had tubs, and those had to come out because the mattress was pretty thick. But it was fun. I had storms. It was cold. But I still loved it. And I hit a lot of the national parks. I went to wineries. I went to state parks. I visited old towns and toured historical buildings and visited a friend, stayed with her and her husband in Colorado. Then I headed on out west. It was easy. It was in a Jeep Wrangler. I wasn't towing anything. And yeah, all across the country, I stayed in my Jeep. I stayed in some cabins every now and then. Every now and then, I stayed in a hotel. And then I got to California, Lake Tahoe, and lost it. I felt so empowered and felt so strong as a woman that I had done that. That I had taken about a month to go across the country and travel like that and boondock and camp in the back of my Jeep, unlike I'd ever felt before. I worked, as an entrepreneur and worked out of my home a lot. But this was something I decided to do all on my own. And so I got to California, got to San Francisco, where my daughter used to live. And it was just such a sense of accomplishment. Came back from that trip and stayed with a friend for a few months. Decided I needed to be alone. I rented a little beach bungalow on the beach. I always wanted to live on the beach. And I'm like, this will be, a cool place to stay for a little bit of time. So I did that in November of 2023. It was awesome. I was like 50 feet away from the beach access. It was great. I was on the island. I was there by myself. Little did I know that in December 2023, almost a month later, my mom would suddenly pass. I was devastated because I was very, very close to my mom. I had a plan. I was going to get that RV and I was going to go. And when I lost her, it took everything out of me because I wasn't expecting it. We were very close. And I knew emotionally and physically I was not capable of getting RV and traveling full time as a solo nomad. I was able to rent this place for 16 months. And this was a very special time of healing for me. I had her dog. I adopted her dog after she passed. So I had her dog for a few months. And then I had to put him down. He was very old.
Oh my God. I didn't mean to start here.
Stayed there for 16 months.
Lord.
And then the lease ran out because I was leasing it. I already sold my house. I didn't have hardly anything left. I'd sold almost everything.
This is sad part. I thought
January 2025. I knew my lease was coming due in March, and I was like, I gotta do something. I don't want to go to a townhouse and live. I don't want to go to a neighborhood and live. I want to get an RV and travel.
okay, finally. Oh my goodness.
For Valentine's Day.
Oh my God. This is the thing. I saw this, right? And I watched it all the way through. And this morning, I was like, okay, let me rewatch this. I was so excited because of how excited she was talking all the way through about this here Silver Mermaid. And like I said, I had a trying day yesterday. And really, it didn't really click on to me what she exactly was saying because I'd be listening for key parts, and I was like just listening for it was background noise until I heard her start talking excited. And this is where she started talking excited. I didn't hear nothing about the mom passing and all of that. I would not have even played that. I don't want to hear nothing like that. And then she like and the dog too. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? The reason why I want to play this is because of the excitement of how she came alive, knowing that this was something that she really wanted to do based on she how it made her feel inside. And as soon as I heard her speaking, I'm like, absolutely, she made the right decision. Because you sort of sometimes, when you get this kind of childlike feeling, it's like you know that it's a connection to it. That's somewhere inside of you. It's supposed to be a part of your going going ahead, moving ahead. And this is the part where I mean we're 18 minutes in. And this is the part where I was talking about where she is like getting all excited. She's like telling her story and everything. And these things happen live sometimes. I mean, what can you say? And my thing is sometimes when things don't go my way, the way I would like to see them go, especially when I have invested, um, or when I am trying to make a presentation, or I know I has to make a presentation or whatever, so other eyes are going to be watching how I perform. Um, I feel like my performance is a direct reflection of what God is doing in my life. And that's why I get so aggravated because I don't want it to be sloppy. I don't want it to be unworthy, like, like not, uh, I'm not prepared, not professional, not, you know, on my, don't have all my T's crossed and my I's dotted. See, I even said that backwards. I water. Mhm. But, when we go through things in our life, like I told you guys, I'm an NPD survivor, right? And it took me having a spiritual awakening to find that I had things wrong with me. I always felt like people were lying on me, which they was, but I thought because they was lying on me, that took away from me having anything wrong with me. I thought because if I was in a toxic relationship, I thought because the person was toxic in a way that was very visible, that took away from me being toxic for being codependent, being getting their validation, being a person pleaser, um, attracting that kind more than once. I always felt like, even though now looking back, I see that I was very, um, that word, I was very, when you move too fast doing stuff, I didn't think things through enough. I see that I didn't prepare things enough. I was very moved from one thing to the next like that. I never gave myself a chance to heal until I found out about spiritual awakening. My healing would be the next thing, taking my mind off of it. And so when I had said, okay, I had got pretty hurt in my last relationship, which was almost 3 years ago, which was when I had my spiritual awakening, almost 3 years ago. So it was around before Thanksgiving in 2023. And that's when I had my awakening. But before then, I found out that I was an empath. And so when I had my awakening, and I found out that I was not only attracting these kind of people, but also attracted to these kind of people because of um, something inside of me. And I took a step back, and I'm like, when you look at a picture like right here, you cannot see it really. You got to take steps back in order to see the whole view of the picture. And so it actually took me, my spiritual awakening took me like walking backwards, like really slowly, because it was like doing work on myself and then turning around, seeing a mirror. And though I could see everybody else's stuff, I could not see mine. And so now that I can see clearly the things that I do, I um, I be trying to fix them. I don't like that because when the other people voices went away, that always made me feel like you're too sensitive, or like you still thinking about that, or like um I take everything the wrong way. Nobody meant it like that. Or like it's always something about me. When those outside people stop, when I stop being around those people, my mind started doing it to me myself. And so that's why when I be messing up, I be thinking to myself like, those same things it says to me too. So I guess I be gaslighting myself. And I was looking at the program that I had filmed yesterday, and it was the lady in the program. I gotta show y'all my new set because I'm still working on my set. But anyway, the program yesterday, the lady, as she was talking, she was like, she was talking about how she had became like a hermit after her husband and her daughter passed away, and she was in the house for about a year, and how she, when she did decide to start going back out the house or whatever, that she had she was unrecognizable to herself. She had gained all this weight. She had sort of looked at, these are the way I took it. I forgot her exact words, but she sort of looked at frumpy or whatever. And she didn't recognize herself because she was like, she's a 10. And so when I say a 10, I just mean she take good care of herself. Anybody, I think, people who take good care of themselves and take the time to love themselves or whatever, um, that you know um when you hear them speak is when I could say, to me, when I hear somebody speak and they sound like, they got the head on right, I'd be like, oh wow, that's the thing. But anyway, so then she was like, give yourself grace. So I gave myself grace, and I was hearing her talk about, I'm like, yeah, I need to give myself some grace. And so, because I was looking at the show yesterday and I was like, "Ah, I gotta erase this show. Let me see how long I did this cry thing." And I was like, what triggered me? And then so I was like watching it, and then so I'm watching the actual show, the whole show, to see if I wanted to keep it up or not. But when I was getting ready to take it down, I was like, oh no, 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 no. Lord's like, you don't do it. You better not take it down. These people ain't able to, when they have experience in life, they're not able to just erase it and delete it. It's a part of life. Don't take it down. I was still gonna take it down, but the Lord made me feel so overwhelmingly like this time. Because the last time I was like, when I was talking in whatever my teeth, and I was like, Lord, no, I'm not. I'm like, Lord, I'm getting humiliated out here. I'm like, at least let me see myself in the best light. I took it down, and he didn't get on me about it. So I was like, trying to see if I can do it again. And so he's been patient with me. He's patient with us, but he made me really feel like, do not do it. So I was like, okay. But I have to give myself grace. We have to give ourselves grace. And, not only am I aging, as a woman, as we age, women, we can give life, well, we can have children. God can only give life, but give the breath of life. But, and we can feed them. We can, it's so much our bodies can do. So you can imagine that if we're almost a whole ecosystem, that we would have some things to at certain times in our lives, hormones, different things. And as you age and as you going through menopause, um, that you get emotional about different things. And then not only that, but I'm also mourning, not speaking to people who I've been very close to. And also, I'm starting something new. And also, I am an emotional person. I do have emotions. I used to always be like, people would do stuff, and it seems like they'd be just trying me, to see if I would have an emotional response. Like one day, my oldest son, we hadn't spoke for a long time. And just out the blue, he just wrote me this long thing, text me this long letter thing or whatever, and still blame me for stuff that happened 25 years ago. I kid you not. And he was writing about stuff like that. And I was with my mother, and I'm like, I read it to her. I'm like, what is up? I'm like, do people think I'm a robot? Why do people always try to make me sad? I'll tell them that something affects me a certain kind of way. And it's like they go out their way to do it again at some point. And so I'm not a robot. So I have emotions. And I won't apologize for having emotions. We're human. And so, don't worry, I'm not going to cry. Anyway, I really feel that as we move on and embrace new areas of life, that we also have to prepare for the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. It's all a part of the journey, the getting there. You know, when you're even reading a book, as you go through different chapters, sometimes you get wild and excited and you like page turners, like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. And sometimes it's just like, oh man, I did not know. Okay, so if that's going, okay, wait, what's going? You don't skip pages to see what happens at the end. You read through it and you feel it all. You put your marker in there and you like, when I come back, I'm gonna start back right here. I'm right here. Can't wait to come back. When I get a chance, I'm gonna come back and see. And you know, in life, that's the same thing. We have to, we have to, it's a journey. We don't get exactly to where we want to get, just like that. And if we did, like, what kind of memories would that make? What kind of growth can we have? You know, how can we mature? How can we heal? How can we relate to different situations? Like, yeah, I went through the same thing. Look, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna feel this first, then you're gonna feel this. I don't know the order you're gonna feel it. This is the order I felt it. And then it's just like it's nothing like being able to relate to somebody. I love people. I really love people. I was a caregiver. That is, I noticed that this one lady, she was saying that she had met this guy, and I see I'm going to be talking this show, but you'll see in tomorrow's show. She met this guy, and he have a place, so she got her a new camper, and she's staying with him, but she used her camper as her office. And I noticed something that when the guy who was interviewing her asked her, so basically, you stay with him, but you just, you still use your camper. And she's like, well, since I'm a nomad, of course. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how is she still a nomad when she got a place to stay? And it came to me, she's still a nomad because that's what she identifies as. That is what she feel most connected to. So I like even that firefighter that had I showed y'all that had given his tiny home to the older lady so that she can be in her home first in that community in California they was rebuilding. Um, he was through and through someone who sacrificed himself for the benefit of others' comfort. That's who he was. It wasn't just a good job. It was his not just his livelihood by monetary standards, but what kept him alive as his identity. And like I was a caregiver, and people be thinking I'm joking when I be like, that is my favorite job I ever had. Because not because of the messy part of it, but it wasn't a messy part to me because I was actually helping people I come to love. And even though they was my patients, we would sit and talk for hours, and I would get to know their family. We would be cooking together. I would know stuff about them other people didn't even know. So we would be like friends. And then um, they come to depend on me. They even give me the key to their house. And you know, so they wouldn't have to come up to answer the door. They would come trust me. I would come to trust them with stuff I would never tell nobody else. And it was my favorite job because I met people that I would be unlikely to meet in any other situation, but people that I um, really got a lot of life lessons out of. People who made me feel like they was meeting me on my level. When I came through the door, they knew I was there to take care of them. I was not there to take from them. I was there to give. And because they knew that, that's how they treated me. They didn't make me feel like I was suspect because I was there to give. So that's what made me feel good about myself. Because in giving, they was receptive and then they was able to give to me too in the smallest ways that I couldn't really even pinpoint, but I just knew they was because they was feeling to me, fulfilling for me. I would learn recipes, learn how to in books, recipes. I would meet their children who'd be around my age and they would tell me stuff about when they grew up. I would look at photo albums. I learned how to make scrapbooks. I learned how to make collages. I learned how to, it's a lot of stuff I learned. And then when my grandmother was ill, I was able to put a lot of those lessons towards helping her, even though I wasn't her caregiver. When I moved here before she passed, the way we finally got so close was because I knew how to, even though she was very heavy set, and at that time I had just had a baby, I knew how to move her without using too much strength by rolling the pillow on one side, pulling the thing over, pulling the thing up under her, and then pulling it like that, showing her how to get out the bed where it wasn't too much on her to get into the, to relieve herself, and how to wash her without reusing the water while she's on the bed. Different things I learned over the years. I was able to use and show other people, even the person who came in as her actual caregiver. But in the time that I used those things, I got closer to her because she was able to see me in another light. Because only thing that everybody ever knew about me was that I was a dancer and what comes with that, especially back then. And then I had tattoos, and um, really, black women didn't have tattoos like I have tattoos and piercings and everything back then. And I even had vampire on my license plate. And that was really because I saw Blade interview with the vampire. I felt like it was really exotic look. I started wearing all black. I had got these piercings in my eye, my lip, my little Marilyn Monroe piercing. Um, got all these tattoos and stuff. And I just wanted to feel like I stood out as somebody who wanted to be seen. And that's all people knew about me. So they made all kind of stories around that. But really, anytime anybody would ask me about my license plate, I'd be like, that's because I only come out at night. And actually, I had a phone that the hours that you could use it is only at night for free, the plan I was on. And the daytime hours, it costs money. So I use that as, I'm like, because I don't even come out at night. I don't even turn on my phone till nighttime. So that's how a lot of people start making stories up. And so when I got here and I was helping my grandmother and she started seeing me in this other light, she's like, girl, where you learn all this? I'm like, I was a caregiver. She's like, "You really worked out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really did, and I think that's what I'm gonna do for a living." I'm like, and I started a business here to do it too. But then my name got bad because I had hired other people and they were stealing. I hired people to represent my name and even made shirts and everything and did housekeeping and caregiving. And one of the girls I hired, she had stole from two houses. So it represented my name. So I'm like, I can't do all the orders that I had coming in. And so I was just like, I wasn't going to have people misrepresenting me. And I couldn't feel everything because I had just had my son by this time, my baby, my last son. So that's why I gave that business up. But that was my favorite job because of that reason. Now, I know I've gotten off track, but it's very important to remember here that I'm embracing newness too. I'm embracing this new chapter in my life. And I'm doing it on my own terms. And me and it's like God is my best friend, the only person I talk to. And it's really weird because I've always been so sociable and I've always been so um, reliant on connections because I love people. But sometimes the people that know you the most are the people who feel they have the most right to um, keep you stuck, make you, not feel worthy of your new life. And I noticed that people that disconnect from people that are close to them in some cases, not all, and not everyone in my life make me feel like that. That's why I still have a Facebook page. But I do notice that a lot of people, when they move abroad, that they act as if they are starting a new life and meeting themselves for the first time too, giving themselves a chance to, uh, giving themselves room to and permission to be themselves without feeling like someone is going to call them fake because they're changing, or without feeling like, excuse me, they have to stay in a certain frame of mind. Um, so, yeah. Anyway, I do have someone else for y'all to meet. I think I'm getting allergies as I get older too. Mm. But I tell you, I put my plant in here. I was having respiratory issues a few weeks back, and I put my plant in here, and it made all the difference, guys. It really does. That's why I don't understand people who have all these big, beautiful plants. the real ones, Why they be having them all outside? They don't be having none inside. Here's an 80-year-old woman, the one I was telling you about, who says she's a nomad, even though she stays with her friend. Working 24/7. So 99.9%. Got an ad that we got skipped in 17 seconds. There we go. Uh-oh. We got another ad. This was something I wasn't gonna say nothing, but now I'm gonna say something. This was the second thing that frustrated me yesterday. I told y'all. So I paid for my subscription. And all day yesterday ads kept coming on. And they took the money out and I couldn't reach them. And I was so upset last night. I'm like, I go on in the morning and it's gonna be playing ads. I was up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I usually be sleeping at that time. And I was upset. And the Lord was like, get you some rest. And when I got some rest in, he told me be water. So that's the second thing that made me upset. 'Cause I gotta go on it. And it's gonna be playing ads. It's like skip the ads.
He encouraged me to have a little spot where, at this age we don't have to be clumped onto each other anymore. We want to live the life that we want to live. And being a nomad, I have to go out once in a while and get dirty, get my feet in the dirt, or go to the ocean. And
So you talking about her friend?
So this season, I'll be here in Quartzsite. I'll be filming businesses and nomads, and then I'm moving on to Colorado for the summer, and I'll be up there doing.
She doing all this
lifestyle, and then back to the beach in the fall.
So having a friend, a boyfriend.
This is my hideaway and office and she shed, and I do have it all supplied to go.
It's lovely.
For the cooking, and all this is kitchen back here, and so I have supplies.
She's parked on his land now.
And but you set it up in such a way that you could, if you had to live in it for the next 6 months in here, you could. Oh, and the one I had before was pretty much like this. Gigi, the first Gigi, like we talked about, I lived in it just like this. This is how I lived. I had a desk, a bed, a little kitchen, and oh, Bob, I mean, when you're a minimalist and you have just minor things like that, you're in heaven. It's easy to clean. So you can clean up in a few minutes. I know you're probably going to lead up to this and ask, about the bathroom and all that. Oh, yeah. And that, because I've been on the road for so long, it's very easy. I was always one that could even pull over, and go. I mean, I don't know why people make that such a big deal. It's a natural thing. It happens. Just trying to easiest way. Is it a bucket? Is it a porta potty? I've got like a porta potty down here. But
porta potty.
Whatever works for you.
That's good. That's another thought for somebody who live on the road.
Feeling normalcy. I think people like that. Exactly. But whatever, that's what you need. Whatever makes you feel good. Yeah, I believe that 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I found that rather than, because I just use minimal jackery, because I know that's really big right now, Blue Eddy and jackeries and all that, and I never went on the road with that. So I wanted one just to, charge up my phone and my laptop. I didn't care about a refrigerator because I like fresh. So I would put this. I bought this ice chest that does streams a week. You put some, block ice in it. It's an ice box, and that works for me. And I got an ice chest, and then I do the little propane. What else do you need? I have no idea what else you need. Right, and I lately make videos on USB devices because you can get by just fine with just USB devices. Yeah, absolutely. And then your electric needs are so low that your jack is good. My leads are very low, and I charge it up when I'm driving, and it's doable. And I think the thing that most people I see,
I love this kind of wood,
all the time.
Red wood.
There's so much fear around leaving because they don't.
As y'all see,
they're afraid of the unknown, which is reasonable. Well, I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I my theory was when I got on that first van I was telling you about on my way across the United States, there was no GPS, no jackets. I just turned the key on and went. And the funniest part about it, I couldn't. I was in Colorado Springs. I didn't. I got lost in Colorado Springs. I went, oh my god, I'm going across the nation, and I can't even get out of Colorado Springs. I ended up in Peterson Air Force Base.
Mm.
So don't have fear. Just turn the key, and I
Don't
tell
have,
people that
I
all the
told
time.
that's what
Turn the
you
key on
said.
and go,
Don't have fear,
and
just
do
turn
it,
the key and
and do
go.
it before you turn a certain age. That's the other thing. Oh, I'll do it. Later, later, later. Procrastinate. Do it now. And the other thing, Bob, is it's getting very popular, and it's hard now. It's hard to sell. So you,
So yeah, I just wanted y'all to get sort of a feel for her because she had been in the how young she looked for her age, and how when you keep moving, how that allows you to stay rejuvenated, how that allows you to stay young and um grooving, moving. Um, what was I watching or hearing? Anyway, I heard somebody say, somebody was asking their grandfather, um, man, why are you still working? Why, why you don't retire? Why don't you just, take it easy? And the grandfather says, I might not be saying it exactly right, but basically, the grandfather says, because if I stop moving, I'll die. And you know what I found? When I had my patients, something I always did was take them to feed the birds, or like I had one patient, Miss Regenhart, and she had a patio deck, and she had these records. So I would play. She had Natalie Cole. I would play the album, and her and her husband used to dance, play albums and dance or whatever. He still was alive and everything. He would just, when I would come, he would go. He'd go golfing and, whatever. And so, um, anyway, we, I would play the albums and we would go out on a back deck, and they had turtle doves that would come. Turtle doves. They didn't get those in Detroit. They got them all the way out in Farmington Hills. So we would go out and feed the turtle doves. So started out, I would make her tuna fish sandwiches and chips for lunch sometimes. But she had like pretty much the same standard lunches. She just liked the same stuff over and over again. Panani, tuna fish sandwich, and turkey cheese, grilled cheese sandwich. So I would take the bread ends and I would heat them up in the toaster oven, and then I would crush them, and then we would take them and feed the turtle doves like that. So Bob, he wound up going getting some actual turtle dove food that would attract them exactly exclusively. Even though she would get them, they wouldn't come exclusively just them. We would see other kind of birds off their balcony. They had a beautiful forest or whatever. Um, they, had a lot of trees in their area. So then he even wound up getting it lacquered just because she enjoyed it so much. And then she started wanting to stay up later. Like, he's like, you done got Nancy where she don't want to go to sleep when you leave no more. I'd be leaving about 6 o'clock, but she'd be wanting to stay up to 8. He like, didn't you done brought out the youth in her again? And he'd be coming home, he'd be wanting to rest. She'd be up talking about let's dance. But um but that's true. You know, you some people have to be laying in the bed, and if you don't turn them, if you don't let them get up and, let their circulation flow and, get them excited about something, even if it's you got a doctor's visit coming up that day. Do you want to stay in the shopping center and just, chill out around there and just roll you around and shop a little bit? Like, yeah, like we're going shopping next week. Or, Thanksgiving is coming up and you was talking about we was gonna make blueberry pie together. You was gonna show me how to make blueberry pie. We gotta get those ingredients. You want to go with me to get the ingredients? Yeah, we're going shopping next week to get the ingredients. We're going shopping so we can get the stuff for Thanksgiving. And they be excited about little stuff like that. And, it keeps you in the groove, keep moving, having something to be excited about. Um, and, not staying stuck. Anyway, I've said everything that I've had to say today and right on time. And thank you guys for watching a little bit of TV with me today. Thank you for joining me today. And I'll see you in the morning if the Lord said so. Peace.